Day 14 of Browns training camp over here in Berea. And Ellis, we got kind of our first look at what the safeties might look like with Grant Delpit back on the field and Ronnie Harrison back on the field today.
Yeah, it finally happened. We had John Johnson III, Grant Delpit, and Ronnie Harrison share the field today. I saw it in a 7-on-7 rep, and the rep didn't go as they would have liked, but that's as expected, right? They're just getting these first chances to finally be on the field together, but it was in limited numbers. Both Ronnie and Grant were out there for the first team session with John Johnson, and then you didn't see him at all for the rest of practice. It was Javonte Moffitt taking the first team reps, so he's somewhere in between the fourth safety on the depth chart right now and the second. You know, this team's deep at safety till they're not, but it was just nice seeing those guys back out there. And then as we gear up for Kansas City, you never know if they have all three of those available, you could see them all.
Yeah, and Scott, it's important. I mean, this was one of the things that whenever you said, what are you watching at training camp, this was one of the things people wanted to see.
Yeah, it's funny. All the things we said about JOK after Saturday night's game, you know, speed and coverage ability and closing ability, those are all things we thought we'd have said about Grant Delpit at this point, you know, whether it was last year or even at this point in training camp. But today, you know, it's the first day he's really kind of getting out there, and maybe it's what we'll be talking about Sunday night, you know, against the Giants. But, you know, if that's the case, today was, you know, the first step.
Yeah, and then JOK working up the depth chart a little bit. You know, when we look at this practice so far, Scott, it felt today like it was just kind of getting ready for the Giants.
Yeah, you had, well, they played a little bit of nickel, and they had Anthony Walker back out there too. So there was that. They did a lot of practicing against air today and dealing with crowd noise, which is weird because this is going to be a home game, and you would hope that, you know, maybe it's not so loud for them. But yeah, most of the practice was just, you know, against nobody, kind of running through things and trying to get on the same page, because there's things that I'm sure they're just not going to be able to do once the Giants show up.
Yeah, and then Ellis, when you look at kind of this stretch of 4 practices, it's very clear Kevin Stefanski going to take care of his guys.
Yeah, these guys just need to stay healthy. They need to stay healthy through this game and then through preseason as that Chief game looms. But they're going to really compete once New York shows up. I think that's really important. We're going to see these tight ends go up against opposing safeties. We're going to see these receivers finally go up against some other corners. The energy is going to be lively, but they got to get to Thursday first.
All right, Giants are coming. Not quite yet. One more day before they show up and those joint practices begin. And, of course, we'll cover it all at cleveland.com/Browns.